Hi, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Stelina. Together, we are moms to 5 children, including 2 sets of twins.
At Tweet Dreams, we are passionate about helping families achieve the peaceful night's rest they deserve because we were formerly overwhelmed and sleep deprived ourselves.
We love nothing more than helping families achieve their specific sleep goals,
so the whole family can be rested and thriving.
On this podcast, you'll not just hear about sleep-related topics. We'll chat about how it started,
where we are today,
and the experiences that have shaped us as mothers of twins.
We hope you'll enjoy listening to the ups and downs,
the highs and lows, and everything in between.
Hey, and welcome back to Twin Life with Tweet Dreams. Today, guys, we want to talk about something that's like a slogan probably for like sleep consultants and sleep training, and that's drowsy but awake. Okay, everybody's heard it. Selena, you've heard it. We've read it. We've seen it. People are talking about it. Like, what's the importance of drowsy but awake? And we're going to kind of unpack this a little bit today and really help you guys, if you're struggling with sleep, steer you in the direction that we want you to go, like for long-term success with your kids, okay? So I feel like drowsy but awake is sort of that top of the mountain where we are maybe like heavily assisting our newborns to sleep, right? Which is totally appropriate. Even like our 4 and 5 monthers, we're really heavily assisting them to sleep. And then we've read somewhere, we've heard somewhere that, okay, look, what's the next step here? And typically that's going to be drowsy but awake, right? Because drowsy does not feel as scary as awake. Would you agree, Selena?
Yeah, it's like they're awake, but they're not that awake. But they'll just go right to sleep. So we're like in the middle here, right?
Exactly. It feels a little safe. It's kind of like that buffer before you go to just putting a wide awake infant down. So I totally understand why that concept exists, right? And as a first-time mom, I felt like in my bones that it was my job to get my kids to sleep. Okay. Like, obviously you bring them home, they're newborns, they don't have any self-regulating skills, they're eating on demand, they're sleeping, 18 hours a day, if not more. And so I just felt like, okay, what's the converse of this? Like, is it crying? Is it like, what is it? So for me and like my husband, and I've shared before, like we set them up to have a routine, but it really wasn't working for us because we had so much assistance going on, pacifiers, swaddles or sleep sacks, Merlin suits, whatever we had, and lots of drowsiness. I remember watching my kids' eyes like roll back in their heads as they were drinking their bottle. And I was like, yes,
we're here.
All right, we're here. It's bedtime. Now we're going to sleep for 5 to 6 hours. Everything's amazing. And no. We were still having the false starts, sleep cycle changes that were, my kids were oinking around and they needed a passy. They needed to be patted and shushed. So we just didn't sleep in those 5 and 6 hour kind of newborn chunks that some people get. We just did not get there. And so even though we were like unconsciously, I think, doing drowsy but awake, it still just did not work for us. And what I want this episode to be about today is the fact that it can work for your kids. It can work for you. It can get you those long stretches of sleep. It can get you sleeping through the night. Okay. But we want to teach you how to take all assistance away so that your child can predictably sleep through the night. And because Selena, I know you'll agree that, like, let's say we're on a discovery call and it's like, well, we used to be able to like, rock and sing a song and like she would be pretty drowsy and then we'd put her in the crib and then we'd sleep for like 8 hours. But now, for whatever reason, we're up every 2 hours again. Like, why is this? Right?
Totally.
And so if somebody tells you that, like, what would be the first thing that you would kind of jump to say like, okay, I could easily pick out why this child's not sleeping through the night?
Sure. So I love to use this analogy with people. So let's say the child's drowsy, but awake, but pretty much sleeping, right? When you rock them to sleep or feed them to sleep, whatever, parents put them down in the crib and they sleep for some amount of time, right? But then they wake up maybe after 30 minutes, maybe an hour, 2 hours, something like that. And they're crying hysterically because they're looking for something to be recreated for them. And this is usually the rocking and the drowsiness. And they need that again. And can you blame them really? Because that is exactly how they fell asleep. So think about if you fell asleep in your bed and then 2 hours later you woke up in your bathtub, you'd be like screaming, right? Because you'd be like, what the heck? I just want my bed back. Like, this is not where I was. And actually, sometimes that can even happen in real life. Like if you go on vacation, this happened to me a couple times. I'll wake up when I'm on vacation and I'll be like, hold on a second. Not in my bed. Oh, wait, I'm on vacation. This is normal. Let me just like fall back to sleep, right? So it's the same thing with babies. And like you said, some are fine, drowsy but awake. Some don't have an issue with this whatsoever. But what I find is that it does get old. I think it can work 4, 5, 6 months maybe for some people. And they're like, oh, great, we have like the best sleeper ever. And great, that's amazing. Congratulations. But then, as they get older, it's harder to make them drowsy, number one. They're more aware. So like sometimes they wake up right when you put them down and it's like, oh, he needs to sleep in my arms all the time or something, or he needs a pacifier, or he needs this, or he needs that. And I think what we're trying to say basically is that to create an independent sleeper, you need to present them with the ability to fall asleep independently, right? Which is putting them down wide awake. And it can sound like so scary to some people, but once you get there, it is like such a beautiful place. I used to, and I still do, like to watch my kids on the camera, put them down and, they're just hanging out, like finding their own comfortable spot. I have one of my kids sings. I have a singer. She will just sing herself to sleep. It's absolutely hilarious. So yeah, they just need to find their own method of falling asleep without being drowsy beforehand. Like they can be on the right schedule to accept sleep. Like they have to be tired, right? Like right timing.
Yeah.
But we don't want them to that point, like where they're like, I can just picture the baby with the bottle, just like basically asleep,
Hey, twin mom, we see you. When we say we get it, we really do. At Tweet Dreams, we are a team of sleep consultants who are also raising twins at home. Our twin sleep coaching packages are specifically tailored to your babies, making the journey of teaching independent sleep as stress-free as possible. Trust our years of experience working with twins so that you can feel relieved that the answers lie with us. Start by booking your free discovery call to learn more, because we can't wait to meet you and help you with your sleep goals. You can find the link to book your call in the show notes. And then as they get older, like let's say we have a 11 or 12-month-old plus, parent presence really starts to stimulate. And so you're like, okay, we're in this dark room. I'm doing these things I used to do. I've been doing this for 9 months and it's been working, but now like the child just wants to play.
Right. I know.
Okay. And so I can't even get them to the drowsy. I cannot get them to the sleepy because mom's here and they want to interact. So that's definitely something we run into a lot, that it's sort of, they just outgrow that. And then the child starts to feel frustrated. Maybe there's even crying while you're holding them, which feels awkward. And you're like, what's the next phase here? Like, where do we go from here? And so to your point, if we're unaware of how we fell asleep or when we fell asleep, when we naturally go through those cycle changes at night, wake up, we check, temperature's the same, I'm with the same people, or I'm by myself, or this, that, and the other thing. And so if you think about drowsiness really is a stage of sleep. Okay, so I go back to like my junior year in high school when I was in like conservation class or something so boring, 9:30 in the morning, and I'm doing that bobblehead thing. I'm so tired. It's like I'm awake, but I'm like, I'm just bobbing in and out of sleep. And before you know it, I missed like 15 minutes of lecture. But like I thought I was awake. I was upright. But like the brain is definitely starting to enter those like light stages of sleep. So the same thing is happening for a baby or a young child. And so if they're in that type of stage of consciousness, they don't remember going to the crib. They don't remember to the pack and play. And then when they fully wake up in the middle of the night at midnight or 2 or whatever it is, they don't have that skill to like get to that light stage of sleep, which is that first stage, then takes us to the deeper stages of sleep. So does it serve a purpose? I think so. I think it gradually lets us unlock this new approach to putting our kids to bed. If we can go from straight asleep to going down wide awake. We can do that. But I believe that going from drowsy to fully awake is probably a little bit of a baby step, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
It feels safer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of why it's so popular, is as popular as it is. But at Tweet Dreams, we really don't recommend drowsiness. Like if you look at one of our sleep plans, it's everywhere. No drowsiness. We want to watch for drowsiness. Drowsiness is not our friend, because we really want to we're not trying to be harsh at all. We really want to set you up for success and set your kiddos up for success to be long-term sleepers. Okay. Good sleepers, predictable sleepers. If we have a client come back to us and, we're 9 months old now or 11 months old and bedtime's just something's off here, guess what? The first thing we're going to ask, hey, what's that bedtime routine? Like step by step, what's it looking like on a scale from 1 to 10? How drowsy is baby? If we're anything over a 2, we're too drowsy.
For sure.
Right. And so this is something you always want to keep in the back of your mind, that this can be something you can work towards, whether we're just getting out of newborn. And you can even practice this with newborns, right? Newborns can do drowsy for sure.
They're just always drowsy. I feel like it's so hard to, you go visit your friend with like a newborn baby and it's like, oh, they're either sleeping or drowsy. You just missed it. They were awake, but you just missed it. Come back another time.
I know.
So that's different.
Because it is different, but because they spend so much time in that drowsy state, like we can attempt and practice the drowsiness.
For sure.
Like going into crib or bassinet, like from the get-go. We don't have to be like limp arm going into crib or bassinet. It definitely is a big opportunity to practice more of that. And I wish I would have known. I would have been practicing this like as much as I could have, but hindsight's 2020. So if you have a newborn, let's practice drowsy but awake. Mm-hmm. And then when we're getting to 3 and 4 months, let's see what awake looks like. So if you are curious about, like, you're like, Lindsay, Selena, I have no idea like what you're talking about. Like, how do I even start this? What does this look like? We have sleep guides for you that are free. Okay. They're going to walk you through what that optimal bedtime routine looks like, what the props are. Like, here's a sustainable prop. Here's a non-sustainable prop. Go back to our episode on sleep props if you haven't listened to it, because it's really informational. And then it's walking you through like what that bedtime routine looks like and how we can get to this next level of no more drowsiness, baby's awake. I say ready to throw a party, which can be scary. But yes, we want eyeballs open. We want baby to be awake and aware of their surroundings. When you kiss their little head, put them in the crib and turn out the lights. Okay. So we're going to link both of those guides in the show notes. We have a twin version and we have a singleton version, because most people have singletons, right? We're just a little niche community over here with our twins. So yeah, we will put those in the show notes. If you have any questions about this at all, please reach out to us on Instagram, send us a DM, send us an email, book a free discovery call. We are here to walk you guys through what this looks like. I know hearing information on a podcast or social media or blog, like, sure, that's great. I love to read that, but a lot of us just can't put it into action because we're overwhelmed for whatever reason. And we totally understand that. Both of us used sleep consultants and we are sleep consultants. So we highly recommend reaching out to an expert, especially a twin expert that can walk you through point A to point Z, because everything in the middle is really frightening and we don't know how to make heads or tails of it. Okay. All right. Thanks for listening on this episode today. Hope you guys are having a wonderful week and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye. If you liked this episode and conversation, be sure to leave a review or rating. Share it with a friend on social media or a family member. It's our goal to reach as many parents of multiples and singletons alike. You're not alone in your parenting journey. If you'd like to hear about a specific topic or have an episode idea, please feel free to message us. We're here to help.